Ever wonder what God's favorite story is? Well, I think we're going to give you a surprise answer to that question as we continue our podcast series entitled Choose to Live. And this week we're talking about how we can choose to live prayerfully. And as we peer into one of the most time-honored ways of prayer, which is Lectio Divina, learning how to pray with the Bible, this day we're going to jump right into step 2, which is the meditatio, please, the meditation piece. We're going to learn how to meditate on God's Word. And the Catechism says that in the second step of praying with the Bible, we meditate on what we read, and it says, and I quote, "Here another book is opened, the book of life." In step 2, we're going to apply what the Bible passage is saying to us. We're going to apply that to our life. We're going to meditate on what we read, and then we're going to apply that to the circumstances of our life. I love that Catechism quote. What it says is that the Bible, when we open the Bible, eventually that book is going to open another book, the book of our life. And that, my friends, is God's favorite story. He loves our story. He loves our life. And when we think through what the Bible passage is telling us and we apply it to our life, and then all of a sudden now God has access to our lives. Let me give you an example. Step 2 of Lectio Divina is we're going to apply what we read to our lives. Yesterday, I was telling you about my experience of praying with Psalm 139, 1 through 16. And I said that it was verse 3. All my ways you are familiar. That's what stayed with me, right? That's what tugged at my heart. Step 1 of Lectio is you're paying attention to what word or phrase stays with you. And now in step 2, we apply that to our life. And so I did. I said, okay, God is speaking to me, saying that all my ways he is familiar. What does that mean to me? And as I thought that through, as I used my intellect, as I applied that to my life, I came face to face with the fact that I just have the same patterns in life. I run from God, or I make the same mistakes in life. I have the same pattern of sin, and I'm really familiar with my patterns. And what I realized in the Bible passage is that so is God. Now, that can engender lots of feelings, right? That can either make me feel really reassured, or that can bring a little bit of fear and guilt because God knows everything that I know. But that's what happened is, as I applied that passage in my life, I realized that not only am I familiar with my patterns, but God is familiar with my patterns. Now, tomorrow, we're going to talk about what did I do with that. We're going to talk about step 3, which is engaging in a conversation with God about the things that stir in our heart. But we, again, as we talked about yesterday, have to be aware of what stirs in our heart in order for us to have a conversation with God about that. And so let's practice that today. Today, I want you to go back to Psalm 139 just like you did yesterday. And today, what I want you to do is I want you to look at what were the words or phrases from the psalm that kind of tugged at your heart. And today, what I want you to do is apply that to your life. Think it through. What are the circumstances of your life? What is God saying to you about you through that passage? And as we have the conversation tomorrow about how to have a conversation with God about that, the Lord's going to continue to teach us how to pray. Enjoy the homework. Let's continue to work the steps of Lectio Divina. And until our conversation unfolds tomorrow, God bless you.